18. The Queen Alien. Ripley's fingers close on the butt of her pistol tucked inside her jumpsuit. The albino Xenomorph's injector moves toward her, gleaming. Ripley fires through the cocoon wall straight into the alien's belly. It screeches and leaps back. Ripley tears open the cocoon, cutting frantically with a belt knife. She staggers toward Hicks. He is screaming, "Hicks, get Newt!" An ear-splitting roar comes from the self-destructing machinery above as Ripley staggers to the unconscious girl. As she cuts her free, Ripley sees for the first time the source of the eggs. The Queen Alien. The shiny black body swells at the base into a bloated, translucent egg sac. Enormous, disproportionate, like that of a termite queen. A pulsating sausage 10 meters long filled with gestating eggs and intestine-like tubules. The powerful, multi-limbed body straddles a throne of its own swollen abdomen. The head is just human enough to be horrifying. In Egg Chamber, Ripley pulls a grenade from her belt, pulls the activator, and throws. It rolls under the egg sac. Grenade explodes. The egg sac rips open, spraying matter. A scream like a steam whistle. The aliens go berserk, screeching and acid explosions in the swirling mist. Ripley carries the inert child over to Hicks. "Hicks, too late for me. Get going." He pauses, then slips his pistol into view. "Hicks, I'll be all right." She hesitates. "Hicks, go!" Ripley backs away, stumbles toward the ship. Inside Colony shuttle ship, Ripley enters by an emergency airlock, goes to the cockpit, drops Newt in a seat, seals the door, examines the controls, hits switches. Airtight doors slam throughout the ship. Another switch. The engines roar white light, searing the egg chamber, the throne room. The ship lifts. Another switch. Huge bolts slam back. The cargo module containing the eggs is jettisoned from the spine of the ship. It crashes back into the inferno below. The ship tears through encrusted structure as it lifts out of the complex. Fire jets roar from vents amount glowing machinery. New red-hot iron tombs. The air vibrates with shock waves over colony structure. Paint blisters on the ship as it moves forward, landing gear retracting. Explosions. Ripley hits the main engines, slams back in her seat. Ship vaults forward. Everything shakes into a blur. When it clears, she is climbing out of the cloud layer into the stratosphere. Below her, the clouds light up from horizons to horizon. Sun-white light bursts, though. Ripley's ship climbs into the night sky. In the 1983 version, the albino Xenomorph possess prehensile tubes that extend from their stomachs, used to impregnate victims with chest bursters directly. It attempts to do so to Ripley, but she shoots it. 19. The Last Fight. In orbit, the scorched craft settles on its hydraulic legs in the cavernous cargo bay of the Sulaco. Behind it, the locked doors slide shut, cutting off the stars, leaving a deep gloom. Inside, Colony shuttle ship. Ripley collapses in the seat. As her fingers slide off the controls, she seems to deflate. She forces herself up, picks up Newt, still comatose, checks her pistol, hits the door button. She moves warily down the short corridor to the airlock, opens the doors. She staggers down the landing ramp to the deck of the mothership and crumbles to her knees. On Sulaco's ship, Ripley looks up to see Bishop standing before her, holding a rifle in his hands. "Bishop, are you all right?" Ripley, "What do you care?" Bishop, "Now that you're here, the quarantine order has been superseded. I'm happy to have you aboard. Now I have to seal this shuttle and jettison it." "Excuse me." He passes her, climbing the ramp between two huge landing legs. "Bishop, I'm glad you made it. Really, I am. I hope you can understand. I just do what I'm told. It's all in the program, you see." Ripley, "Suck air, Bishop." Behind Bishop, the huge, scorched black hydraulics begin to move. A large, shining shape drops silently to the walkway. Bishop looks down as a drop of acid splashes on the deck by his shoe. He turns. The Queen alien hisses, dripping acid and rage. Its body ends in torn gristle where the egg sac was torn away. Its huge thighs flex, glistening as it rises. One blurred swipe flings Bishop away in a spray of milky android blood. The rifle clatters away. Ripley looks up as the thing advances, checks around desperately. The gun is too far. Ripley, her eyes riveted on the creature, she pushes Newt away. Holding her jacket, she slips the little girl over the edge of a short drop-off, letting her slip gently down among some hydraulic mechanisms. The Queen looks down at the child's form. Ripley shouts hoarsely, "Here!" She moves in front of it. The creature's attention returns to Ripley. Without warning, it moves for her like lightning. Its claws rake her jacket as she turns and runs. Ripley clears the door to a storage bay at a full run, slapping the close command button. The Queen hits the door. A half-inch of steel plate buckles under the impact. In the darkness, Ripley crosses the room. The door buckles further. Squeal of rending steel. The alien hits again. Ripley fumbles with a safety harness. Ripley and the power loader. Hydraulics whine. The magnetic footplates clang as she steps forward. The alien steps back to charge the door again. Then it opens. Ripley steps out wearing 2 tons of hardened steel. The battle is joined. Ripley and the Queen alien face each other. The alien attacks. Ripley parries with swipes from the massive forklift's claws. They lock in a death embrace. Ripley closes the forks, crushing 2 of the alien's limbs. It lashes and writhes with incredible fury, coming within inches of Ripley's exposed body. The hind legs rip at her. The striking teeth extend almost a meter. Ripley ducks, and they slam into the seat cushion behind her head. She spins, slamming the creature against a wall of machinery. Yellow acid foams down the hydraulic arms toward Ripley as she raises the Queen off the ground. It tears at the hydraulic hoses. Purple hydraulic fluid sprays wildly about. The arms lock. Ripley stands at the lip of a vertical loading lock, a rectangular pit. She steps off the edge. They crash together 6 meters below, twisted together in the wreckage. The alien shrieks. Its blood flows around the lower door, eats through. Air begins escaping. Ripley unbuckles, claws her way up a service ladder to the controls, hits the outer door switch, emergency override. Below Ripley, an open pit of stars appears as the door slides open. She is buffeted by a hurricane of air howling past her into space. The alien claws up toward her, seizes one ankle. The power loader tumbles down, the Queen in its grasp. The alien, clutching one of Ripley's sneakers, plummets into the depths of space. Ripley fights the airstream, crawls over the lip. She releases the override. Ripley collapses, gasping as the upper door slides closed and the air eddies and settles. She moves over to the huge hold, leans in and picks up the grease-smeared Newt. She carries the child past the remains of Bishop, lying in a puddle of curdled milk, tubing strewn out. He speaks with a hissing gurgle. "For a human being, you're really quite remarkable." Ripley looks down. Bishop winks. Ripley, "Thanks." Ripley walks down the corridor. Newt stirs in her arms. Newt, "Mommy." "Mommy?" Ripley, "Right here, honey, right here." In the 1983 version, the ending is very similar to the movie. The biggest difference in the 1983 version is when Ripley and Newt arrive at Sulaco on the colony shuttle ship, where Bishop is waiting with a rifle. During the final battle, Newt is unconscious, and in the final battle, the acid that the Queen alien starts leaking starts to corrode the power loader and the airlock door before it opens. The ending scene in the movie, where Ripley, Newt, Hicks, and Bishop go to sleep in the cryo chambers, was not presented in the 1983 version. This is where the official version of Alien 2 ended. The 1983 version is interesting in many ways. First of all, it is interesting to note how many years before the Aliens film, James Cameron had the story in his mind. Of course, the 1983 version clearly differs from the final version simply in terms of content and length. The Alien 2 script is 42 pages, and the final 1985 version is 105 pages. Second, although there is a clear difference in the lengths of the scripts and some scenes have significant differences, most of the main events are the same in both. The 1983 version has many scenes that have been transferred almost unchanged to the final version. In addition, several scenes can be identified that James Cameron has clearly envisioned for many years before he was hired to make the film. The third interesting point is James Cameron's vision of the alien, especially its life circle. James Cameron presented the alien monster as a clearly insectoid, insect-like creature. The 1983 version emphasizes several insect-like functions in the aliens, such as stinging and paralyzing with the tail, as well as the collective actions of the aliens built around the hive. The introduction of the alien queen is naturally a very compelling direction away from the original alien life circle, which was based on mystical egg morphing. In fact, in the original Alien film and scripts, the alien appeared as a clearly more mysterious and unknown creature. James Cameron presented the aliens in the Aliens film as space bugs, relatively one-dimensional creatures that are easy to compare to pest insects. This divides opinions among Alien fans. Some would have liked to see the alien life circle as strange and unknown and not comparable to insects. Others, however, like James Cameron's insectoid idea. The final script and film omitted several things from Cameron's 1983 version of the alien, such as paralyzing the victim with a sting with the tail and albino drones. It is very strange that the albino drone mentioned in the 1983 script has remained a concept in the alien fan world and that toys have been made from it. From a certain point of view, the absence of the albino drones from the final film is a bad thing because their existence comprehensively explained the construction and maintenance of the hive with them. The biggest plot addition in the final script and film is the evil corporation and its representative Berg, who tries to get the alien brought from the planetoid. This has added a lot of content to the film, and the overall nature of the plot has changed significantly from a simple search and destroy mission to corporate intrigue. The 1983 script as a raw text is an amazingly complete entity, although too short to film a full-length film. It also contains several scenes that would have been excellent for the final film, such as Ripley's nightmares on the Nostromo and the scene where the colonists go into the egg chamber and are attacked by the facehuggers. However, the 1983 version does not provide answers or specifically open up some of the questions raised by the Aliens film. For example, how the colonists have not previously noticed the derelict ship, even though it has also been sending a signal all the time. In many ways, the 1983 script is an interesting version of the film. Write in the comments what you think of the 1983 version, what aspects you liked about it, and what things were better or worse than in the final Aliens film story. Also, remember to like the video and support the channel by sharing the channel information and its videos with your friends. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you should do so. This way, you will always be informed when new interesting videos are uploaded to the channel.